Cardano just broke back into the spotlight, and this time it's not just hype, it's institutional money, whale accumulation, and a potential ETF that could change everything. We're talking about a token that's been stuck in the mud for months, suddenly showing signs of life with analysts throwing around an 800% price target. Yeah, you heard that right, $7.82, from under $1. So what's really happening behind the scenes, and should you be paying attention right now? Let's break it down. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we cut through the noise and bring you the real analysis on crypto moves that actually matter. Do me a favor, smash that like button right now, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss what's coming in the crypto space this week. Cardano is trading around 87.5 cents right now with a market cap sitting near $30 billion, which tells us people are still actively trading this thing. Now, ADA dipped about 3% recently, nothing dramatic, just a small pullback after some gains. But that's not the story. The story is what's building underneath the surface, and it involves institutional players, ETF filings, and technical setups that have some analysts absolutely buzzing. According to a crypto analyst known as Sasebi, Rex-Osprey just filed for 21 new crypto ETFs, and one of them includes Cardano. That's not just a random filing. This is institutional infrastructure being built in real time. If this ETF gets approved, traditional investors who've been sitting on the sidelines suddenly get regulated access to ADA. That means demand from markets that have never touched Cardano before. Even though nothing's official yet, the mere fact that this filing exists has already shifted how traders are thinking about ADA's future. Analyst JAVON MARKS looked back at Cardano's previous breakout cycle and noticed something wild. ADA hit 3 major price targets in sequence during the last bull run. All 3. No misses. And based on that same pattern, Marks is projecting the next move could push ADA up 221% to $2.77. But wait, it gets better. If momentum mirrors the last cycle, and this is where it gets spicy, Marks says ADA could climb as high as $7.82. That's over 800% from where we're sitting today. Now, I know what you're thinking. An 800% rally from Cardano, the blockchain that moves at the speed of molasses. Well, before you dismiss it, consider this. Cardano just secured one of the biggest institutional partnerships in its history. Google Cloud is now running a validator node on Cardano's network. Let me repeat that. Google Cloud. For a blockchain that's been criticized for being too slow, too cautious, and honestly, too boring, having Google Cloud validate transactions is a massive stamp of approval. This isn't some random DeFi protocol throwing its hat in the ring. This is big tech signaling long-term confidence in Cardano's infrastructure. And the rumors? Oh, they're flying. Word on the street is that a major stablecoin might be joining the Cardano ecosystem. Unconfirmed, yes, but loud enough that people are starting to position themselves. A big stablecoin joining Cardano would instantly ramp up adoption, bring in liquidity, and give developers a reason to build more DeFi applications on the network. Combine that with ETF chatter, and you've got a narrative that's starting to snowball. So what does the community think? According to a recent sentiment poll with 1.2 million votes, 88% of participants are predicting a bullish scenario for ADA. Only 12% leaned bearish. That's overwhelming optimism, and it suggests limited selling pressure compared to buying demand. Now, polls don't move markets, but they do reflect sentiment, and right now sentiment is leaning heavily in favor of more upside. Let's talk technicals because this is where things get tactical. The 90-cent zone is the key resistance level everyone's watching. This area is stacked with supply from previous failed rallies, which makes it the make or break point. If 80 can push through 90 cents and hold it as support, that's when we start talking about a run toward $1 and beyond. Indicators are already leaning bullish. The RSI has turned higher from neutral territory, and both short-term and mid-term moving averages are bending upward. But what if it doesn't break through? Well, support zones are clear. The 85 to 87 cent range has been holding nicely, with quick bounces suggesting buyers are stepping in at those levels. If ADA dips below that, the next major support sits at 82 to 80 cents. A bounce from there keeps the bullish structure intact. A breakdown below 80 cents? That means more sideways base building before the next leg up. Here's what I think. The 90-cent level is absolutely critical. This isn't just random resistance, it's a psychological barrier, a technical ceiling, and a liquidity magnet all rolled into one. If ADA breaks above it with volume, we're likely seeing a retest of $1 within days. And if it holds above $1, that's when the real FOMO kicks in, and those higher targets from JAVON MARKS start looking less crazy and more inevitable. Now, let's talk about what's happening on-chain because this is where Cardano's strength really shows up. According to analyst Ali Martinez, whales accumulated 70 million ADA in just 1 week. That's not retail buying the dip, that's big money positioning for something. On-chain activity has held steady even while ADA has been stuck in a range. Active addresses, transactions, and staking participation haven't dropped off. In fact, Cardano continues to have one of the highest staking levels across all proof-of-stake networks. That tells us the holder base is here for the long run, not just chasing short-term pumps. Dan Gambardello, another well-known Cardano analyst, went on record on October 3rd saying the ADA chart never looked this good. He pointed to the Google Cloud partnership, the stablecoin speculation, and early ETF chatter as major catalysts. And honestly, I agree with him. We haven't seen this many bullish developments hit Cardano at once in a long time. The difference now is that these aren't just community-driven narratives. These are real institutional moves, real partnerships, and real regulatory progress. But let's keep it real for a second. Cardano has a history of overpromising and under-delivering in the eyes of some traders. The network has been criticized for moving too slow, for being too focused on research and peer review instead of speed. And while that's true, it's also why Cardano has one of the most robust and secure infrastructures in crypto. This is a blockchain built to last, not to pump and dump. So when institutional players like Google Cloud start validating on the network, it's not random. It's because they trust the long-term vision. The stablecoin rumor is also worth watching closely. If a major stablecoin launches on Cardano, it instantly makes the network more useful for DeFi applications, lending protocols, and everyday transactions. Right now, Ethereum dominates stablecoin activity, but Cardano has the infrastructure to compete, especially if transaction fees stay low and throughput stays high. And then there's the ETF. Look, ETF approvals take time. The SEC doesn't move fast, and nothing is guaranteed. But the fact that Rex-Osprey is even filing for a Cardano ETF shows that institutional appetite exists. If approved, this opens the door for retirement accounts, hedge funds, and institutional portfolios to gain exposure to ADA without touching a wallet or dealing with exchanges. That's a game changer. So, where does that leave us? Cardano is sitting at a rare inflection point where fundamentals, technicals, and market sentiment are all aligning. The checklist is simple. Watch for a strong close above 90 cents, look for rising volume to confirm the breakout, and make sure pullbacks hold higher lows. If those boxes get checked, we're likely headed toward $1 and possibly much higher. If not, ADA continues ranging with support back near 82 cents. For now, all eyes are on 90 cents. Break it, and Cardano finally steps out of its long sideways grind into something bigger. Fail, and we wait for the next setup. Either way, this is one of the more interesting setups in the market right now, and I'll be watching closely. If you found this breakdown helpful, go check out my other videos on altcoin setups and market analysis, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment letting me know what you think about Cardano's chances here. Are we headed to $7.82, or is this just another false start? Let me know. As always, this is not financial advice. Crypto is highly volatile and risky. Do your own research, never invest more than you can afford to lose, and make sure you're not making decisions based on hype alone. Stay sharp out there.